Hello, hello, my friends. What day is it? No, is it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. Or is it Tuesday? What day is it? I don't even know what day it is. Wednesday. I don't even know what day it is today. Such a weird week. All right, so here we are at day 28 of our 31 days of spirit. We've gone through all sorts of different subjects. All right. Say hello in the comments. It has a little bit of a delay, so let's see what we're talking about today. It's gorgeous out today in Fargo. It's closer to 30 than it is to 30 below finally. So that's a good thing. Wish I was skiing. Today would be a great day to ski. But we're going to go on New Year's Eve. Hello, hello, ladies. Good to see everybody. There we go. Now some people are jumping on. Hello, hello. I'm hoping my voice makes it through the week. I've been doing all the word of the year. So if you guys ordered a word of the year, please check your junk and spam. I still have about 10 to do. So they'll be completed before New Year's, as promised. Just trying to break them up a little bit so I can save my voice a little. All right. Hello, hello. Say hello in the comments so I know that you're here and who you are. See a bunch of people on. Let me share this too as a reminder. Oh, whoops. That didn't work. Okay, never mind. I'll share it above. Okay, so just a reminder, January 11th, we have our Intentions with Direction class. And I just closed out the link. So I'll post that above the video when we get done. But that is, you can sign yourself up and then you can also bring a friend. So we wanted to do something kind of fun for the beginning of the year to kick off 2023. I love to set intentions with people. I am good at it. There's something about it. I can always feel the energy when it lands and when it's something that is going to help you move forward. So I really, really love intention setting. So I usually do some sort of class at the beginning of the year. And this year it's on January 11th. Okay. So please sign up for that. Bring a friend. I love doing that class every year. And I thought it would be kind of fun to talk about some of the beginning of the year, end of the year kind of things, depending where your perspective is. Some people are getting ready to end the year. Some people are getting ready to move into the new year, just depending where you want to be. And some of the things that I do typically this week, especially, and I do some of it this week. I do some of it during the month of January. And to me, I learned this years and years ago through Sunny Dawn Johnston that our date changes on December 31st, and the energy of the year, New Year, usually changes on the Chinese New Year in February. And when I heard that, that made such sense to me because I always thought January never felt like the new year to me. It always felt like it needed a few more weeks before things actually shifted into the new year. And when I found out, I'm like, oh, well, that's what I'm feeling is the energy shifting more towards the beginning of February instead of on the New Year's. It's almost like I was never quite ready for New Year's Eve. And I always needed that month of January to kind of let go of 22 or the last year and move into the new year. And so some of my sensitive clients that feel energy, that might make sense to you. And so I take this week through kind of the first week of February to work on things that either worked or didn't work. And I do kind of a review, and I do it for sure with my business. And the last couple of years, that's gotten much more intense, which has been great because we've been able to clean a lot of stuff up and add new systems and grow and shift things. And this year is no different. We needed help for sure. That was one thing that was not working, is we just didn't have enough help between me and Angela. And our technology needs were getting bigger and stronger. And finally, we have been praying for someone. We've been manifesting someone for years, and we finally found Andrea, who's a great fit. And she's kind of our technology wizard, and Angela's really good with technology as well. But that was one of the big pieces that was not working in my business last year. And I thought it would be fun to talk about paying attention to what's working and what's not working, and kind of doing a review on your year to see the different parts of your life that might be working or not working. And then what can you do into the new year to find some solutions for that. So last year at this time, maybe it was even a little bit before this time, it might have been, I often do this around my birthday too, because it's in August. So it's kind of in that mid-year energy. And one of the things after I got COVID was my health was not working. And I was struggling in every way. I had terrible brain fog, and I was super weak. I could barely get myself to get around the block. Skiing was really hard, which sucked. Like it was just really, really difficult. And I didn't get too much into like complaining about it. I definitely didn't feel good, but I didn't want to get into that energy of, poor pity me, blah, blah. It definitely affected. I let people know what was going on and stuff. But one of the things that wasn't working was my health. And so I really went into the year with an open door for solutions. And some of the solutions were a new doctor who I love. One of them was new supplements that supported, what was happening in my body. I really, really needed help getting my strength back. And so adding a person that I've known her for years, and I kind of explained to her what was going on. And so she's been training and helping me. And my workouts are a million times different than when I first started. I couldn't even get through a half an hour workout when I first started with her. And different things, taking time for myself and taking care of myself and letting other people just kind of do what they needed to do in their drama instead of always trying to fix it. It was almost like a message that you need to stop paying attention to everybody else and start paying attention to yourself. That was the biggest piece. And so I did that all year. And I found so many different solutions for different parts of my health that weren't working. And I'm 49, so I got all the hormonal stuff and all of the lady stuff, all that kind of stuff happening. And so I knew moving into my 50s, like I want to be healthy. I still want to move around. I'm not a grandma. I want to move around. I want to do stuff. I want to be active. Eli's very, very active. My kids are super active. I've always ran a little behind them because they're very active. And so I wanted to at least be a little closer and caught up with them. And so that was a big piece for me because my health was not working. And instead of sitting in my health is not working, I moved into what can I do to create a better place for my health. And that included energy work. It included emotional work, working with a mentor for the year. And I've had a mentor for years, but we worked on the emotional points of what was going on with my body. And that was always fascinating to me. And it always is. I love doing that part. So I worked the body, mind, and spirit side of things. And so sometimes many years in a row, there's different parts of my financial side that's not working. This year, we need to expand that a little bit into a better system because I suck at systems. And so we're making some changes with that so I can keep better track, and I have better track of my inventory because happily I'm selling more stuff and things like that. And so Finances used to be a huge piece that wasn't working. And so I would have to put energy into someone that could teach me. And that was really hard at first, like really hard to admit that I didn't know what I was doing. And I felt so dumb with it. And I remember meeting with my accountant and tax girl, and she's just amazing. And I'd just be crying because I just felt so stupid. And she's like, no one ever taught you this stuff. I don't know. If you go learn tennis, would you cry learning tennis? I'm like, well, no. And I'm like, this is just so much. And I just learned that I had so much junk around it that I needed to heal or clear, or whatever you want to call it. But that piece wasn't working. And so I put some energy into what solutions could I find so it could start working. Baby steps, my friends. It could be relationships. I've had years where that wasn't working in many ways with friendships and different people in my life. And I was like, I need some space from these people, or I needed to step away from certain people, or I needed to choose myself first. And I was a saver for a long time. I like to save people. And what I didn't realize in that was I was very much causing myself problems by saving other people. I was sacrificing so much of myself, and I never saw it that way. And my mentor actually said, you're really sacrificing this, and this when you do this. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't even realize that. Like, I just thought I was helping and being helpful and helping people like that. And it was really like an eye-opening thing. I was like, well, that doesn't work. And so I had to start creating different boundaries or different rules for myself. And my boundaries and rules are for myself. They are not for anybody else. They're to hold myself accountable for my own energy, because I am responsible for my energy. They are not. And so that was a big shift. Like, oh, well, if they're just going to keep playing the game and I keep playing the game, well, that's on me. And so shifting my boundaries was a huge piece that wasn't working for a really long time. There's just so many different things. It could be your house. A couple years ago during COVID, actually, Eli and I, we were all trapped in our houses and stuff. And he would get out a little bit for work, but I was really kind of here all the time. And I was like, I can't stand the paint on the walls. I feel trapped in this house. I don't like it. It doesn't feel good to me. And so we decided to paint the house from top to bottom. And we took, it probably took us a good month to do it. But by the time we had everything, put back together and everything, but my house wasn't working for me. And so we really put a lot of energy into what could we do to create a better space so that I feel good in it. Because when I feel good, then everyone else usually gets to feel good, because I kind of run the house, right? And so I really had to look at my space. And even this winter, we have more snow than we've had in years, right? And there's more coming. And I was like, oh my God, our house has so much clutter, because we have like 2 closets in my house, and it's old house. And so when things start to build up, it builds up quickly, right? And usually this is the time of year that it's so funny. It's like clockwork. But usually about mid-January, beginning of February, all of a sudden Eli goes on this cleaning spree. And he's a great organizer, and he does all the stuff in the basement that I hate to do. And then I usually work on the main floor and upstairs. And so we go into kind of this cleaning mode, because then winter feels better to us when we are in our house more, because the house is decluttered. And so there's so many different things that you guys could look at, but I think you have to look at it. And a lot of people are kind of scared at looking at what's not working because of the work or the energy or the investment or whatever it might be to put into some of that, even some of the energetic side of things and the emotional things, to look at some of that stuff. But every time I've done it, my life improves every time. And some of it's been really hard. And so I would love to encourage you guys. I think that's one of the things. If you had to think about something off the top of your head that wasn't working for you this year, what would it be? Something that you can control. That's the other piece. Something that you can control. Okay? Like, there's a lot out in the world that's not working for me. I don't have a lot of control over that. Like I have very little control over that. So what in my world is not working that I can do something about? Let me clarify that. Okay. So let me just ask, what's not working? What's not working? Gonna hang for a second. Let you answer me. I always think it's really fun actually to see what is working too, because I don't think people really look at that. And especially if you're in a little bit of the pity party or the victim mode or things like that, it's always great just to start listing things that are working. Like my computer works, yay! My internet works, my she shed works for me so beautifully. My little wood stove works, amazing. All of you showing up every day has been super fun for me. You know, we have heat and we have electricity with all of these storms, and all of these different things are working. I can go on for a long time, and that's good for you to do, is to see what is working, because then you can pick a couple of things that aren't working and start working at it. Relationships and health. Yep. Weight loss. We don't want to lose weight. We want to release weight. Because if we lose it, we're just going to find it again. You know, that was a thing for me, is I was doing a lot of the right things with the workouts and the diet and all that kind of stuff, and eating well and all that kind of stuff. And I found out this year I'm insulin resistant, which it's really, really, really hard to release any weight if you have insulin resistance. And so I found a doctor to support me in that piece. And so that might be something to take a peek at too, because I knew I was doing all the right things and nothing was moving. And I'm pretty active. I mean, I have my lazy days, but I'm pretty active. And that was one of the things that wasn't working for me, because I just wanted to feel better. And so that might be something that you want to expand where you're looking or what you're doing, and see a doctor or a naturopath or whatever works for you. But that might be something just to take a peek at. Relationships, it's kind of interesting too. You might want to write a list of how you want to feel in a healthy relationship, because maybe you've never had that experience in front of you. Maybe you've had a lot of dysfunctional relationships around you growing up, or you're in them or whatever, but start to think about what would a healthy relationship even look like. And then when you have your list, are you treating yourself that way? Like, are you being kind to yourself? That includes your self-talk. Are you a good friend to yourself? Do you communicate with yourself? Are you treating yourself well? Are you being kind? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you giving yourself self-care? Are you respectful of yourself? So you might want to look at that. Start there, Stephanie. Start with yourself. Become a good friend to yourself first. Marcia said, I'm with you on the house, moved in July. Combined 2 full houses, so too much clutter, not enough space. Yep. And so maybe you just start a plan that every day you there's kind of a cool feng shui little thing that we do when we do the household clutter class. You take 9 things for 9 days. So you take 9 pieces of clutter, do what you need to do with them, and then the next day you do another 9, and the next day you do another 9, and the next day you do another 9 for 9 days. And it moves the pile. And a lot of times once you do your first 9, you might have enough motivation and momentum to go ahead and do a little bit more, but maybe not, because then you just stick with your 9 things for 9 days. But it's a great way to start to make a dent in some of that. And then you can do another 9 days and another 9 days. So it's kind of broke down a little bit. That might be helpful for you too, Marcia. Yeah, the house. Maybe I'll have to do a little clutter class in the winter. Future in-laws. But see, you can't control them. You're not going to change them. So you need to go from where you are, because you're the point of attraction. You're the point of attraction. And so what can you do to maintain your energy and your alignment and your boundaries? That all starts with you. Then I would just do it myself, Marcia. There's a lot of, when it was so interesting when my husband's mom passed. something shifted and he got rid of so much stuff, but he's more of a keeper than I am. I'm a little bit more of the throwaway. I'm messier than him, but I throw stuff away or get rid of stuff or donate stuff. He keeps stuff because someday he's going to need it. And he always proves that to me, because I'll be like, oh my God, get rid of that. You've had it for 10 years. You don't need it. And then the next week he needs it. So he proves himself in that way. But I would, I don't go in the garage because that's his. And we have an old, tiny little garage, so we don't park in our garage. Like I said, we have a really old house. And so the garage belongs to him, and for the most part, the basement. And if he's got stuff that he's not willing to go through or organize or whatever, that's where it goes, because that's not my job. I like the main floor to feel and look a certain way, and the upstairs where bedroom is and things like that. But if he's not in on it, then I'll just do it myself, because there's lots of projects he does where I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not interested in that project in any way, shape, or form. And so he'll just go do it himself. And so it's okay just to do it yourself. You can do it yourself. That's okay. I make my space feel good for me. And oftentimes when it feels good for me, it tends to feel good for my family too. Like I would clean the house and the boys would come home and be like, oh, Mom, you clean the house. I'm like, yeah, doesn't it feel good? Or we'd have them clean their rooms, and I would always point out once it's clean, doesn't it feel so much nicer in here? Isn't it just energy? Like, just feels so much better. Like, I'd plant little seeds. And so I did find out when boys get girlfriends, they clean their rooms more, and like lots more. So that's helpful. But yeah, just do it yourself. Just do it yourself. Carla said, what has worked for me in 2022 was a new definition of self-care. Oh, I love that. And I've amplified my self-care. And yes, it really does matter for lots of healing and reasons we don't even realize. I love that. A new definition of self-care. I like that. And so you could do, what is your definition of working and not working? So for some people, if I ask, what's working, and they'll be like, man, it's all right. It's fine. That works. It's fine. And they're just kind of settling, and you can feel it. And there's many areas that I'm like, yeah, I'm not settling anymore. I don't need to settle. And settling doesn't have to be the cheapest thing or the most expensive thing. Settling is, oh, this still doesn't feel as good as I want it to. So let's find some solutions for that. Like, what could we do different? This winter is a little bit different. A lot more snow, a lot more storms so far. We're just getting started. And I was like, oh, this is not working for me. Like, I feel really trapped, and there's another storm coming. So what can I do to support myself so I can still enjoy winter? Because I don't want to feel trapped all winter. It's too long to feel trapped here. So digging out my cross-country skis, or making sure, like Eli bought us, little ice things, simple little thing, bought us ice things for our boots so we can still go for walks. Making sure he always clears the snow really great, so we have great walking paths, so I can at least be outside and bum around if I want to outside. So there's different things and different definitions. I love that, Carla. Different definitions of what works and what doesn't work. And you have to look at that too. So when you have your two lists of what's working and what's not working, then you need to start to create that definition of what does working actually feel like. Like, how do I actually want this to work? Like, Angela and I are working. It's fine. We're making it, but it was stressful. And it was getting more stressful on her because I'm so not helpful in the technology. And so it wasn't working. She was like, oh my God, we need to find some help. And I was like, okay, I hear you. Okay, let's find some help. Because it was working-ish. And nothing was fully getting done or completed. It was a lot of running around between emails and things like that. And so it wasn't really working. And so I do feel like, even though we would say it's working, deep down, really wasn't working. And so adding an extra person, now it's working, and it's going to get better and better as we have a couple months here to clean things up. And oh my gosh, her energy has shifted. My energy has shifted. Andrea is really fun. And so that kind of stuff has been really fun to look at. Aw, Brittany says, I have to give you a shout out. Seeing you live every day and seeing your posts every day has really been an inspiration for me. And I admire the bejesus out of you. You know, and I do it on purpose. Because if I don't have a reason to show up, then I go and isolate, or I get kind of bummed out, or I get moody, or whatever. I just don't feel as good. And so one of the reasons I show up so obnoxiously, and sometimes it is obnoxious, is because that works for me for my mental health, my physical health, my energy, my mindset, because I like to have that I have created a reason to show up. It's definitely for you guys, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot for me. Holidays aren't always easy for me, and so I wanted to create a reason to show up for myself, to be of service for others, because then it works both ways. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. And there's a reason, like a deeper reason behind it too. And winters are long here. And so again, I don't want to be in a bitchy mode all winter. And so there's got to be something in my world that I need to show up for, or I'm not very fun to live with. You can ask my husband that. He even asked me the other day, because I was crabby about the weather or something. And he was just like, don't you have a project to work on? And I was like, no, I don't have any projects. Don't have any hobbies. No. And I was all pissy crabby. And I was like, ooh, I got to find something to do. Like, I need to find something to do. So it was pretty funny. Get overwhelmed and drained so quickly. So you're trying to create your life, and what you're noticing that's not working is you're still getting a little bit drained, and you're still getting a little bit overwhelmed. And what can I do to help those two areas? So overwhelm is typically, I love how Sunny says it. What does she say? She says you're getting overwhelmed with handling all your blessings. I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool way to look at it. And so what can I do to handle things better, right? And if I'm getting drained, well, that's an energy thing. And so what do I need to do to self-care my energy a bit more and more consistently, which I bet is probably what it's about, and make sure that I'm doing that piece, so the life that I'm living, I can keep up with it. And I did fight with that for a long time, because that's kind of my energy too. I'm an all or nothing girl. I'm either all in or no thanks. And I had to really learn harmony. And so that might be a word that you want to kind of connect to, is learning a little bit of harmony this year. Okay. Because then it's not all or nothing. Then you got a little bit of stuff. So you can be really busy, and then you can take a little break, and then you can be busy again and take a little break. Yeah. We always teach what we need to know. There's a reason I teach all this stuff, you guys. There's a reason I'm in this seat. If I wasn't in this seat, I would be a very bitter, angry lady, and it wouldn't be very fun. So it does give me a reason to show up and to make life work better. So I want you guys to pay attention, what's working and what's not working. And the things that you think are working, I want you to really think about it. Is this really working? And is there something I could even do to make it work better? And then the things that aren't working, how much attention do you want to give those things? Because sometimes it's just things that aren't working. And do I really want to put attention towards that? No. So I'm just going to let it go instead. Like obligations, those can go over there. Okay. So what's working? What do I really want to work? Prioritize. And then the things that aren't working, is there something on there that's really does mean something to you, that you want to get into the working area, and what can you start to do? And you can't change it all overnight, you guys. Pick one or two things and then start to work on that. And then the other stuff will come in when it's meant to. I'm working on shit from 10 years ago. And so it comes when it's supposed to come. But I think if you take some time this week, next week into January, and start to prioritize some of that, you can really make a lot of movement. And that's kind of what we want to do, is move and grow and expand, right? Hello, ladies jumping on. We're talking about what's working and what's not working, and how to get what's not working to work. But you got to take a look at all of it first and get a little bit higher perspective from it. Okay. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you today. Again, if you ordered your word of the year, check your email, your spam, and all that kind of stuff. Just in case it goes in there. A lot of times that's where my emails land. So check your spam and all of that kind of stuff. And then when they will all be done by New Year's Eve. So they'll all be done by Saturday. I'm actually hoping to get them all done by Friday. I think I only have like 10 left. So if you ordered those, it's coming. The intentions for direction class is on January 11th. That's going to be the next class. And we still have some fun ahead. Tomorrow I'm going to come on. Let me look real quick. Hold on. I want to talk about Mercury in retrograde because that starts tomorrow. Tomorrow. All right. I will be on, I believe at noon again tomorrow, you guys. Okay. I think tomorrow at noon. And we're going to talk a little bit at retrograde so you guys don't go into freak out mode. Okay. We don't want to go into freak out mode. We want to use the energy of retrograde. Okay. All right, my friends, I have to run. I got a call, but I will see you all tomorrow. Much love to all of you. Okay. Bye, guys.